There is a mystery woven into the fabric of the universe, one that whispers to us in moments of stillness, in the turning of seasons, in the quiet stirrings of our own hearts. It is the truth that what we make, in thought, in word, in deed, does not vanish into the void. No, it sets unseen forces in motion. You and I were made in the image of a creator. This means that our ability to shape, to envision, to bring forth, is not merely a talent, it is a calling. And when we make something with intention, with faith, the universe does not stand idly by. It moves, it responds, it works its magic in ways beyond our comprehension. But how do we begin? How do we craft something that the universe cannot ignore? That is what I invite you to discover today. Creation is not a mere act of human effort. It is the signature of the divine within us. To create is to echo the very first command of existence itself. Let there be. When we shape something with our hands, minds, or hearts, we are not merely producing an object or an idea. We are engaging with the fundamental law of reality, the law that governs the seen and unseen alike. We were made in the image of a creator, and that means that within us lies the power to bring forth what does not yet exist, to fashion out of the void something that was never there before. Consider the way an artist approaches a blank canvas. In the beginning there is nothing but emptiness. It would be easy to say there is no painting, no color, no meaning, but the artist does not see only emptiness, he sees potential. And so with a single brushstroke he makes a mark. That mark is insignificant on its own, but it is the first crack in the wall that separates the invisible from the visible. With each additional stroke, the painting begins to emerge, until one day, what was once nothing now carries depth, beauty, and purpose. The same is true in every aspect of life. What you think, what you say, what you act upon, they are all brushstrokes on the canvas of your existence. Some believe that creation is a thing of the physical world alone, that only what can be held or measured is real, but the greatest forces that shape reality are unseen. Ideas, intentions, convictions. These are the architects of nations, the seeds of revolutions, the spark of inventions that change the course of history. There is an ancient wisdom that tells us, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This is not poetry, it is a fundamental truth. What we allow to take shape within us, our fears, our dreams, our beliefs, becomes the blueprint for the world we experience. A man who dwells on scarcity, who rehearses the idea that there is never enough, will find that his reality reflects exactly that. But the man who creates a vision of abundance, of provision, of possibility, will find doors opening where once there were only walls. To create is to initiate a divine transaction. When you make something, a decision, a declaration, a step forward, you are not acting alone. You are engaging with unseen hands that move according to laws higher than we can comprehend. The world does not respond to those who merely wish, who merely hope. It responds to those who create. Those who shape a vision and dare to act upon it, even in the smallest way, set in motion forces that cannot be undone. And yet so many hesitate to create. They fear failure, ridicule, or insignificance. But here is the truth. Creation itself is success. The moment you make something, you have already won. Whether or not the world applauds it, whether or not it unfolds exactly as you imagined, does not matter. What matters is that you have engaged with the highest law of the universe. You have left behind the realm of passive existence and stepped into the realm of divine authorship. A man who writes a single sentence has already begun a book. A woman who takes a single step toward her dream has already changed the course of her life. The act of making, however small, is an act of defiance against the forces of stagnation. It is proof that the spirit of creation still breathes within you. And if creation is the key, then what will you make? Will you fashion a life of meaning? A vision so compelling that the universe itself cannot help but take notice? Or will you let the blank canvas remain untouched, waiting for a day that never comes? The choice has always been yours, and in making that choice you are not alone. Creation is not a solitary act, it is a partnership. The moment you move, the moment you shape something with faith, you will find that unseen hands have been waiting all along, ready to carry your work beyond what you ever thought possible. The world you see around you is not separate from you. It is not some distant, untouchable force that moves without reason. It is, in every way, a reflection of what has been shaped within you. The thoughts you hold, the emotions you entertain, the beliefs you cling to, these are the architects of your reality. If a man believes himself to be cursed, the world will bend to confirm it. If a woman carries the conviction that she is destined for great things, the very fabric of her reality will conspire to prove her right. This is not superstition, nor is it blind optimism. It is a law as real as gravity, a law woven into the very structure of existence. It is why two men can walk into the same room and leave with entirely different experiences. One sees only obstacles, reasons to doubt, signs that he should turn back. The other sees opportunities, open doors, confirmation that he is exactly where he is meant to be. The difference is not in the world itself, but in the eyes that behold it. There is an old tale of a traveler who approached the gates of a city and asked a wise man what kind of people lived within. The wise man, instead of answering, asked, "What kind of people lived in the city you came from?" The traveler frowned. "They were selfish, cruel, and dishonest," he said. The wise man nodded. "Then you will find the same here." Not long after, another traveler approached and asked the same question. The wise man once again replied, "What kind of people lived in the city you came from?" This traveler smiled and said, "They were kind, generous, and full of goodness." The wise man nodded. "Then you will find the same here. What you perceive, you create. The world does not impose itself upon you, rather it responds to the substance of your inner world. This is why two people can be given the same set of circumstances, yet one will rise while the other remains stagnant. The difference is not in luck, nor is it in chance. It is in what has been cultivated within. If you carry bitterness, you will find reasons to be bitter. If you hold gratitude, you will find more to be grateful for. If you expect betrayal, you will see it, even where it does not exist. And if you expect favor, doors will open where you least expected them to be. It is not that the universe is playing favorites. It is simply aligning itself with what you have already chosen to see. This is why so many people remain trapped in the same cycles year after year. They believe the world is unfair, that nothing ever changes, that their fate has already been written, and so the world obliges. It delivers to them the very proof they seek, confirming their deepest convictions over and over again. But there are others who, though given every reason to despair, refuse to accept a life of limitation. They create within themselves a different story, a different expectation, and the universe, ever faithful to reflect what is within, begins to reshape itself to match. There is a passage that says, "To the pure, all things are pure." This is not a statement about the world. It is a statement about the eyes that see it. The world is a mirror, and it will show you exactly what you believe it to be. If you do not like what you see, you do not change the mirror. You change yourself. You change your thoughts, your expectations, your way of seeing. And in time, the reflection must change as well. So the question is not whether the world will respond to you. It already is. The only question is, what have you asked it to reflect? What have you made within that the world has no choice but to mirror? Because once you understand this, you will see that you are not powerless. You are, and always have been, the creator of what comes next. Faith is not wishful thinking. It is not idle hoping or passive waiting. Faith is an act of creation, a force that calls things into existence before they can be seen. It is the evidence of things not yet visible, the assurance of things still unfolding. Too many believe that faith is merely a feeling, a gentle trust that, if all goes well, things will work out in their favor. But real faith is far more than that. It is the courage to step forward when nothing around you suggests you should. It is the boldness to declare something true before any proof has arrived. It is the unseen mechanism that moves mountains and bends reality to align with those who dare to believe. Imagine a farmer standing before an empty field. He sees no harvest, no crops, nothing but barren land. A fool might say, "Why plant if there is nothing there?" But the farmer understands something deeper. What is seen is not all there is. He does not wait for the harvest to appear before he believes it is possible. He plants the seed first. He commits to the process first. And in doing so, he activates a law older than time itself. The seed responds not to doubt, but to action. Faith, like that seed, demands that we move before we see the result. The mistake so many make is waiting for the world to give them proof before they act. They say, "I will believe in abundance when I see it. I will trust that I am loved when someone proves it to me. I will step forward when I know for certain that I will not fail." But that is not faith, that is doubt disguised as reason. Faith does not wait for the evidence. It creates the evidence. It does not ask the world to go first. It steps forward and trusts that the ground will meet it. Consider the moment when Peter stepped out of the boat onto the water. The waves were high, the storm was raging, and every law of nature told him that he would sink, and yet, for a moment he walked. He defied the limits of the natural world, not because the water changed, but because he did. His faith carried him, and when his faith wavered, he began to sink. The water had not changed, only his belief had.